When I got engaged, I didn't realize I was walking straight into a war I never wanted to fight. I, 27F, said yes to my fiancé, Ryan, 29M, on a quiet little pier near where we had our first date. It was simple and perfect, just like us. No audience, no theatrics, just love. But my yes wasn't just heard by him. It echoed all the way to my mom's sewing room, where, apparently, she'd been waiting her entire life to hear it. My mom, Linda, is the kind of woman who builds her world around meaning. Every birthday cake, every holiday decoration, every handmade Halloween costume, all of it had a story, a sentiment, a piece of her in it. She was a professional seamstress for most of her life. She made prom dresses for my friends, altered wedding gowns for other brides, and saved every scrap of fabric from her favorite projects. Growing up, I used to hear her talk to clients and say things like, "When my daughter gets married, I'll make her dress myself. I want her to feel love in every stitch." At 12, I thought it was adorable. At 27, I realized it was a trap wrapped in lace. Because when I got engaged, she didn't ask if I wanted her to make my dress. She told me she would. And she was so excited that saying no felt like kicking a puppy. I told her I'd love that, and at the time, I convinced myself I meant it. Within weeks, her sewing room turned into something between an atelier and a shrine. She pinned photos of vintage gowns to the wall, spent hours sketching designs, and called me every other day to discuss fabrics. Every conversation started with, "I found the perfect lace trim," or "I just ordered antique pearl buttons, they'll look stunning on the sleeves." I'd nod along, smiling, but deep down, I started to panic. The first time she showed me a sketch, it looked nothing like me. Full ball gown, puffy sleeves, a high neckline, and a train long enough to trip over. I wear minimalist, modern clothes, neutrals, clean cuts, no ruffles. I wanted something sleek, something that felt like me. But how do you tell your mom, the woman who raised you on secondhand clothes she altered by hand, that her dream design makes you feel like a porcelain doll? So I didn't. I told her it was beautiful. She lit up. That smile was so genuine it hurt to ruin it. And that's how the first lie began. Over the next few months, the dress consumed everything. Every time I visited, she had updates. New lace, new beading, new layers of tulle. Each time, it grew more extravagant and further from what I wanted. I tried dropping subtle hints. "Mom, maybe a simpler skirt would be easier to dance in? What about a modern neckline? Could we make it a little lighter for the summer?" Each suggestion was brushed off like a mosquito. "Sweetheart, you'll thank me later. You'll look like royalty. Trust your mom, I've done this for years." Every bride deserves to feel like a princess. The thing is, I didn't want to feel like a princess. I wanted to feel like myself. Meanwhile, Ryan noticed my stress. One night, he asked, "Are you even excited about the dress?" I hesitated, then said the truth for the first time. "No. I hate it." He looked stunned. "Then why are you wearing it?" I didn't have an answer, only a knot of guilt in my throat. About 3 months before the wedding, I went with my bridesmaids to look for dresses for them. The boutique had a small bridal section, and as we passed by, I stopped dead. There it was, the dress. Simple satin, off the shoulder, no lace, no beads. It was timeless, understated, elegant. Me in fabric form. I touched it and felt something shift inside me. My maid of honor, Jenna, saw my face and whispered, "That's your dress." I laughed, shaking my head. My mom would disown me. She smiled sadly. "Maybe. But at least you'd be honest." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that dress. About how my mom's gown, though gorgeous, wasn't mine. It was hers. And then I remembered something she told me when I was little. She once said, "Clothes should make you feel free." But her dress made me feel trapped. The next day, I bought the boutique dress. Quietly. Secretly. And immediately felt both relieved and terrified. The morning of the wedding, the air felt electric, that tense silence before a storm. My mom came into my suite holding her masterpiece. She looked radiant, proud, trembling with excitement. "Ready to make your mother cry?" she said, half joking. I froze. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. "Mom," I began, "I need to tell you something." Her smile faded instantly. When I told her I wasn't wearing her dress, her face went blank, like someone had cut the power behind her eyes. "You're joking," she said. I showed her my dress. That silence. I'll never forget it. It was heavy, suffocating. She whispered, "I poured a year of my life into this. Every hour, every stitch, every dream for you." I tried to explain. I told her how much I loved her effort, how grateful I was, but that the dress just didn't feel like me. She stepped back, shaking her head. "No, you don't get to say it doesn't feel like you. I made it for you. It is you." The daughter I raised would have understood that. Then she left. No shouting. No tears. Just silence. She didn't walk me down the aisle. She didn't sit beside my dad. She didn't speak to me at the reception. People noticed. Whispers spread. My aunts kept asking, "Where's your mom's famous dress? She's been talking about it for months." I smiled through gritted teeth, saying it didn't fit. The truth burned in my throat like acid. When I looked for her later, she was gone. A week later, I finally got a message. It wasn't from her, it was from my brother. He said Mom wasn't ready to talk. That she felt humiliated. That her friends had called asking why I rejected her work in public. He ended the message with, "She said she doesn't know how to forgive you for turning her dream into her worst memory." I called, texted, wrote her a letter. Nothing. The wedding photos came in last week. They're gorgeous. Everyone keeps saying I look stunning, and I did, I think. But when I see those photos, my eyes go straight to the empty seat beside my dad. That's where she should have been. It's been a month. Still no word. Ryan keeps telling me I did the right thing, that a wedding is supposed to be my day, not anyone else's. But then I remember how her hands shook when she showed me the final dress. How she ran her fingers over the lace like it was sacred. And I wonder if maybe I could have worn it for an hour. Just long enough for her to feel seen. I don't know anymore.